Aloha, and welcome to the Workbook of A Course in Miracles. We're on Lesson 30. Let's go back for a second to Lesson 27. In Lesson 27, we were reminding ourselves that above all else, I want to see. In the introduction to A Course in Miracles workbook, it says that this is a mind training course to help us see everyone, everything, and every situation differently. So we're training our mind to see. In the previous lesson, we were told that we don't really see anything at all, except for the past. We see the past. But in Lesson 27, we made a determination, I want to see. In Lesson 28, we said, I want to see things differently. And then yesterday's lesson, God is in everything I see. And I said the idea for today, God is in everything I see, explains why you can see all purpose in everything. It explains why nothing is separate by itself or in itself. And it explains why nothing you see means anything. In fact, it explains every idea that we have used thus far and all subsequent ones as well. Today's idea, God is in everything I see, is the basis for vision. And then today's idea, Lesson 30, says, God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. The idea for today is the springboard for vision. From this idea, the idea that God is in everything I see because God is in my mind, from this idea will the world open up before you. And you will look upon it and see in it what you've never seen before. Nor will what you saw before be even faintly visible to you. And that's what we're after. Friends, brothers and sisters, that's what we're after. To have that kind of vision. To see God in everything. And it says the way that we do that is first, we realize that God is in our mind. And we look inside and see God there in our mind. It says, today we are trying to use a new kind of projection. The old kind of projection was attempting to get rid of what we didn't like by seeing it outside of ourselves. Now, that's what we normally do. That's what we call vision. What we like, we project it outside of ourselves. And then we judge it as though it didn't really come from us. Like, everything. It could be from politicians to criminals to that guy or girl that just irritates the crap out of us, or even people in our own family. What we don't like, we project it, the Course says, outside of ourselves. And that's what we call seeing. But we're going to use a new way of projecting. And so instead of projecting what we don't like outside of ourselves, we are trying to see in the world what is in our minds. What's in our minds? God is in our minds. And what we want to recognize is there. We want to recognize God in our minds and join with it. Thus we are trying to join with what we see rather than keeping it apart from us. And I know you're thinking, well, I don't see God anywhere, not inside or outside. But hey, that's what we just don't recognize it yet. But that's what this mind training course is all about. How to recognize the divine in our mind. And then when we recognize it there, we'll see it everywhere. We'll see love within ourselves. We'll see love everywhere. Now, this is the fundamental difference between vision and what you see. The fundamental difference is instead of trying to project what we don't like outside of ourselves, we're going to look and see God or love inside of ourselves and join with it. And then we'll see it outside of ourselves. Today's idea should be applied as often as possible throughout the day. So it's not a certain amount, or just as every time you think of it. You look around you and you say, God is in everything I see. Because God is in my mind. So whenever you have a moment or so, repeat it to yourself slowly, looking about you and trying to realize that the idea applies to everything you do see now or could see now if it were within range of your sight. Real vision is not limited to concepts such as near and far. To help you begin to get used to this idea, try to think of things beyond your present range, things beyond your range of vision, as well as those you can actually see as you apply today's idea. Real vision is not only unlimited by space and distance, but it does not depend on the body's eyes at all. How about that? It doesn't depend on the body's eyes. Real vision. The mind is its only source. To aid in helping you to become more accustomed to this idea that the mind is the real source of vision, devote several practice periods to applying today's idea with your eyes closed. So you've got your eyes closed and you're applying today's idea. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. Even the imagined things, God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. And using whatever subjects, close your eyes, whatever subjects come to mind, we're going to look within instead of look without. So do that a few times a day. Just look within. That's where God is, within. And it says today's idea applies equally to both. That which is outside, that which is inside. Because ultimately, they're the same. And the Course says there's the one thing ultimately we must all learn is that there is nothing outside of ourselves. So we think that the things that we see out there are really outside of us, and the things that we see in our mind are inside of us. But really, we're going to learn that they're the same. So this sounds like a fun one today, a fun exercise to do. And so just enjoy it, you know. These exercises will be a lot more benefit if you can just have fun with them and enjoy them and, you know, do them like it says. Try to remember to do them, but just have fun with them, you know, like, whoa, God is in everything I see, even that, you know, bird at the bird feeder, or that cat, or that worm. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. So aloha to you. Have a wonderful, blessed day, and I will see you tomorrow.